Flosstube, welcome back to Bumble Stitches. My name's Nicola and today is Tuesday the 5th of October. If you're a regular viewer, you'll know that things are a little bit out of sync this episode. I normally record on a Sunday, but this week Justin and I have a week's leave from work, so we've been at home and been up to quite a few things and quite a few things planned. I'll have popped a little video at the beginning of this episode of a day at the seaside that Mum and I had yesterday. Mum came up with her little poodle Jessie and we had a lovely walk along the seafront, which the day was completely different to today. It was lovely and sunny and really quite warm. And we were able to sit and eat our fish and chips outside by the pier, which was a really lovely thing to do, especially in October. And today has been really changeable. The light is changing all the time. I can see the sun sort of flaring a little bit here. 5 minutes ago it was really dark and throwing it down with rain, so goodness knows what sort of weather we're going to get in the background. But yeah, it's just so lovely to be back with you all today. As I mentioned, I had a day out yesterday with Mum. Today, or this morning, I've been in the sewing room doing a few bits and pieces, which I'll share with you in a little while. Tomorrow, Justin and I have a rather exciting and important appointment in the afternoon, which I will share more about that with you all soon. Thursday will probably be another sewing day, and Friday I think we might have another little venture out somewhere, and if I do, I'll take some video so I can share it with you on the next episode. Well, enough about me. I hope you've all been keeping well and that you've had a lovely stitching and crafty time since I last saw you, which was sort of nearly 2.5 weeks ago now. A big thank you to everybody that is a new subscriber, and of course to all you lovely subscribers that pop back and visit with me every time. It is really very much appreciated. If you're not a subscriber, please do consider hitting the subscribe button if you like what you see, and you can also hit the notification button if you want to be a little pop-up to come up on your device when I upload a new video. Another thank you is to everybody that has bought me a coffee. I do have a Buy Me a Coffee account, which I link in the description box below, and I use any funds that come through on that to help with postage for the giveaways. And it helps me to keep them international so that everybody can have a chance of winning something. And I do have some lovely giveaways later on in today's video to share with you all, so I hope you look forward to those. I think that's probably all of the preamble. I'm just going to check my notes because I do forget things, as you all know. Okay, so it's been an eventful couple of weeks, stitching and sewing wise. You may remember that I mentioned that a lovely viewer, Laurie from California, had got in touch with me because she had bought and sent the unicorn chart that I had, which was the chart from La Di Da called Something Wicked, and it arrived, and it was a very exciting, happy mail day for me indeed. I'll share with you what Laurie sent me. So first of all, I need to share this. I saved the wrapping. It all came wrapped in this beautiful golden unicorn paper, which was so fitting and really added to the excitement when I opened the envelope and saw this. The excitement was really building by that point. She had gold twine around it and a lovely little message on the tag there. Such a lot of care and thought had gone into this package. And inside, of course, was the chart by La Di Da, and this is Something Wicked. And I'm going to take it out of the paper, out of the plastic bag, so that it doesn't reflect too much on the camera lens. So for those of you who are not familiar, how fabulous is it? So that's the chart by La Di Da. So that in itself was wonderful and amazing, and super generous. But Laurie didn't stop there. The chart is charted in both needlepoint ink silks and DMC, and Laurie very kindly and thoughtfully included the DMC threads to stitch the chart, so I'm all good to go. And then as a final really sweet little touch, she added some little unicorn stickers, golden ones there, and this lovely little book of unicorn stickers as well. So I was well and truly unicorned up. There's a gap there. I've already used a couple of these in my planner, but they're really wonderful and so on theme of the whole unicorn thing. So thank you again, Laurie. It was just made my day and made my week really to receive that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the fabric that I'm going to be stitching it on later when I get to haul, but I'm going to pop these away. And receiving this unicorn chart got me thinking a little bit, and I've had a bit of an idea, and hopefully you guys will think it's a good idea. And for those of you that don't know and think, why is she going on about unicorns? A unicorn chart is basically something that you know is probably out there somewhere. You haven't been able to get hold of it. It might be out of print, it might not be available in the country where you live, or it might not be very easy to get hold of, but you know, you've seen it and you know there is a chart for that particular project, and hence it's your unicorn. So I was very lucky in that I mentioned mine on my video here, and so many people got in touch with me about it, and of course Laurie kindly sent it to me, so that was fantastic. My unicorn was wrangled. So I thought it would be a good idea perhaps to have a section here on my videos where I can help some of you find your unicorn charts. So my idea is to have a little sort of unicorn wrangling section of the Flosstube, and you can contact me using my email address, which is down below in the description box, and let me know what your unicorn chart is, and please include a photograph of it so that I can see it, because I need to know what it is, and also so that I can share it. And what I would, my plan is to have a little section on the video where I say that, for example, Nicola in Suffolk, England is looking for the following chart. Obviously not me, but you. And then people can contact via the Flosstube, and I can put you in touch with people who might have that chart. Now, this is not by any way meant to be an opportunity for people to sort of profiteer from having those charts. It's more of a way of helping out a fellow stitcher to achieve their stitchy dream and find their unicorn. So it's not for people to charge exorbitant amounts of money. If you want to do that, go and do it on eBay or wherever you want. But I thought that, you know, somebody's unicorn is somebody else's chart that might be sitting in their stash and has been for a long time, and they've either stitched it or they don't intend to stitch it, or, you know, for whatever reason they wouldn't mind passing it on to another stitcher. So you know, and it would be between the two parties to decide, you know, if there was they wanted to do a swap, or, you know, to pay for the postage or anything like that. But I just thought it might be a nice way to yeah, get some unicorns to their the stitchers that dream of them. So let me know if you would if you think it's a good idea, and if you'd like to get involved, and if you have a unicorn chart, and I'd be more than happy to offer that as a service, if you like, to just help you find those charts. So that was, yeah, that was just a little thought that went through my mind to try and yeah, try and get us all hooked up with those charts that we really would like to stitch. I'm going to move on now to a finished object, I have completed one of the small challenges that I set myself on the last episode, and that was to complete the stitching of Spell of the Moon by Blackbird Designs, and I am very happy to report that I have finished it. So without further ado, let's have a little look. So here it is. And I am so pleased with the way this has turned out. So this is a stitch along that I was doing with my lovely friend Paula of the Snail Garden on Instagram and Eva Faith on Etsy. This is a piece of Paula's lovely hand-dyed fabric that she sells in her Etsy shop. This particular one is a 32 count and it's called no, it's not called Spell of the Moon. The pattern's called Spell of the Moon. It's called Dark Side of the Moon. Yes, Dark Side of the Moon. So I have completed this. It's not really a small, is it? It's somewhere in between. And I've used DMC 310 as the black. Another colour which I can't remember, just a little scrap of an anchor thread that I used for this sort of greeny grey for the owl's body. And the moon here was done in Gentle Arts Harvest Moon, which Paula also sent to me when she sent me the fabrics. So I'm so pleased to have this one done. Paula has also finished hers, so hopefully soon we'll have these FFO'd and ready to share with you. Just for those of you that don't know, I have been sharing this almost every episode for the past few weeks, but the pattern is here. And it's from this Winds of Autumn booklet from Blackbird Designs. I do have some fabric ready to finish it with. I've got this piece of quilting cotton. I'm trying to see who it's from. This is called Midnight Magic. You can see it's tiny spider webs in a very geometric design. And it is, I've got a bit of the selvage on the back, Midnight Magic by April Rosenthal of Prairie Grass Patterns. So yeah, I thought that would be perfect to finish that off into a little pillow. And of course it will be ready in time for Halloween, which I am very proud of myself for doing, because I didn't think I would have anything finished as a new piece in time for Halloween. So that is my finish for this episode. So let's pop that to one side with the fabric. And let's see, what are we up to next? This is another new little section, and it won't be in every video. I was in my sewing room this morning and I had a few finished stitched pieces that were crying out to be fully finished, so I made a start. So these are finishes in progress. These are my FIPS. So let me show you what I was making this morning. And I had a bit of a mixed bag. You know when you have one of those sewing days when not everything turns out quite the way you expected, and sometimes you need to step away from things, don't you, and reevaluate. So I'm hoping a couple of them I might like a little bit better now I'm looking at them than I did when I was sewing them earlier. So the first thing that I worked on was the Merry and Minty chart, which was a free pattern and chart put out by Brenda Gervais of With Thy Needle and Thread last Christmas time. And I completed it over Christmas time, but there it sat and wasn't FFO'd. So now I have actually, as you can see, I put some interfacing on the back of the stitched piece, a piece of cotton lace trim and another piece of gingham fabric there, and the back is backed with gingham fabric too. I've left a little opening here so that I can stuff it and turn it into a pillow, and then I will slip stitch this closed by hand. I probably should have taken some time to do a bit of pattern matching there, but I'm sure as it's the back of the pillow it won't make too much of a difference. I'm not decided whether I'll put any trim around the outside of this little pillow yet, but if I do, I've got some more of the lace, and this is just one that I picked up in Hobbycraft Boutique vintage ribbon, and it comes as 5 meters on a spool. This is quite inexpensive, about £4 I think for 5 meters, so quite inexpensive. So I may hand stitch that all around the edge once I'm done stuffing it, but I thought it made quite a nice little pattern, and I was a bit undecided on the fabric to use, and when I found this I knew straight away that that would be the one to do it. So that's one of my FIPS. The next one, we've sort of got all the seasons here. We've had a Halloween finish, we've had a Christmas finish. Let's move on to Easter. There's this little bunny that I stitched back in the springtime, and this was by, I'm doing this from memory, I think it was Crochet Go Go on Etsy, and it's this lovely little white rabbit. And I didn't enjoy stitching this because this is the fabric that I mentioned I was doing the My Necessity chart by Heartstring Samplery on, and that I decided not to carry on with. This is that same fabric, and I should have remembered that I didn't particularly enjoy stitching on it, but I did persevere with this one and got it finished. And again, I've ironed it onto a piece of interfacing to give it a little bit more stability and also hold the stitching down in the back. I've backed it with a piece of Liberty fabric. Again, I've interfaced this because if you've ever sewn with Liberty Tanner Lawn, you'll know that it's very, very fine and quite flimsy. And on this one, I've just left a tiny little opening at the bottom here that I will slip stitch close once this is stuffed and turned into a pillow. I didn't leave a very big opening, and this was a real struggle to turn it, and the whole time I was worrying about crumpling my stitching too much, but it survived, had a bit of a press, and I think it's fine now. And for this one, I've got some old, this is from Stampin' Up days. This is some ribbon seam binding, and I thought the blue went perfectly, and I'll stitch this in a ruffle all the way around the edge. So hopefully I'll have these finished next time I see you. Had a bit of an incident next on my next FIP. These were the Laurie Holt stitch cards, the farm animals ones. So I don't know if you can remember me showing these when I finished them. So there's the cow, the horse, the sheep, and penny pig. And I've backed these all with the same gingham fabric, and you can see these little holes are a little bit raggedy where I made slits to turn them in the right way. And I cut these too small. I've made quite a few of these mini pillows from Laurie stitch cards before, and instead of checking the measurements, I went all gung-ho and just cut the fabric and started merrily sewing away, turned them inside out and thought, these don't look quite right. I couldn't put my finger on it. And when I compared them to some previously finished ones, I realised that I had cut them way too small. So I then thought, shall I unpick them and try and find a way of fudging it to make them right? But I think I'm just going to stuff them and finish them, and they'll be fine in a bowl. But yeah, they're a little bit close to the stitching, so they're quite a bit smaller than the ones that I've done previously. But I'm sure once they're in a bowl as part of some sort of summer decor, they'll be fine, and I shouldn't really stress about it, should I? So that was another little FIP that I am working on. And one final finish in progress that I have to share with you is this one here. And again, this is something that as I was sewing it, I wasn't really liking it that much, and did consider ripping it all out again. But this is going to be the front of a project bag. I completed this stitch back in the summer. This is a Laurie Holt pattern by It's So Emma called Eat, Sleep, Stitch, Repeat. And I've just, again, I've backed it with some iron-on interfacing to give it some stability, especially seeing as it's going to be in a project bag. And then I've just taken some of my Lorry Holt fabrics, and originally I cut 2.5-inch strips, and then realised that I wasn't going to get enough or as many colours and patterns into the bag as I wanted. So rather than recut a load more fabric, I just cut the strips in half. So these strips ended up being 1¼ inches before they were sewn, just to give a bit more variety. So I'm undecided. I'm hoping once it's stitched into a bag that I will love it again, but at the moment I'm a bit not really too sure. But again, it's just a project bag, so it really doesn't matter, and it's much better for this piece to be finished into something than just sitting in a pile doing nothing, going to waste. I've got some fabric for the backing of this one, which is this Lorry Holt fabric. This, I can't remember the range that it's from Vintage Happy 2, and I thought this would make really nice backing and for the top of the bag, so it's going to be really bright and colourful. And I've used a couple of strips of this in the bag itself. I just peep at you over the top while I say that. So that's something else that I was up to today. So yeah, I'm hoping to have all those FIPS as FFOs next time we meet, because I do plan to do quite a bit more sewing this week while I'm off. So those are my FIPS. I wonder if I'll start a new thing. Do you think FIPS will be a thing? Do you think other Flosstubers and people will start talking about their finishes in progress? Or perhaps they're a bit more organised than me and just start a finish and finish the finish rather than getting distracted by other things. Set that to one side. Okay, next thing that I wanted to speak to you about are my actual stitching WIPs, and I spent quite a bit of time getting Spell of the Moon completely done, but I have been stitching on a few other projects, and I'm about to have a switch around. I'm going to change everything over to Halloween for the next couple of weeks stitching, but let's just get up to date with what I have been stitching on. This, as you know, is my in the car lunchtime stitching, and this is Hello Sunshine by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I've completed up to section 3. I'm on section 4, just starting out outlining the butterfly. Section 5 is out, so the stitch along is officially over. But as we know, I am just plodding along with this one and enjoying the fact that it's a nice easy stitch for lunchtimes, especially if I do some fill-in. I do need to go back and actually finish section 1, but in true me fashion, I got distracted when part 2 came out, and I am a little bit of a magpie because the next shiny thing will always distract me. But progress is happening on this one, so we'll pop that one away. And this one's not really getting much love this week because I'm not at work, so I don't need to worry about having lunchtime stitching because I can stitch all day if I want to. So let's pop that back in the bag. And the next project that I've put a little bit of love into is the Barbara Anna All Creatures Great and Small. I'm just going to pop this on my board. I haven't done a huge amount on this, but you'd be pleased to hear that the pig that only had its bottom half done last time is now complete and even has its couple of piglets. There's another piglet to go on its back, and then I shall carry on going across on this one. But this, I know, is going to be a very long-term project for me, especially seeing as I keep putting it to one side and choosing other things to work on. But that is All Creatures Great and Small by Barbara Anna. And I was watching Nikki of Nikki Noodles Flosstube last night, and she's made a start on this as well. And Nikki, yours is looking amazing. She's already done most of the bottom section, gone all the way across the bottom part of the sampler, and it's looking fantastic. So I'm sure Nikki will be finished hers way before I finish mine. But it's a lovely stitch. Let's fold this one up and put it away. And talking of Flosstubers, I've been watching, I wanted to give a shout out, while I remember, in case I forget, I wanted to give a shout out to Michelle of Penny's Daughter Shares. I know lots of people have starting to discover her Flosstube already, but I thought I would give a shout out today. I think Michelle's got 3, possibly 4 Flosstube episodes out already, and she was the stitcher that started the Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee stitch along on Instagram. So she's got lots of wonderful things to share, and some quite touching stories as well in her Flosstube episodes. So please go along and give Michelle some love and subscribe to her channel, because I think you'll really enjoy what she's got to share with you all. So let's pop this one away, and then I can move on to my Lucky Nutcracker stitch along. And that Christmas tree from part 1 was a beast. It really is quite a lot of stitching, but as you can see, I'm very nearly finished part 1. I'll pop it a bit closer so you can see. I've done the tree, and I've done one of the presents, and the second present I just need to fill in a little bit of the pinky red for the stripes there, and then I will be ready for part 2, which came out last Friday, and that is the Nutcracker himself, and he sits or stands about here, and he's quite big as well, so there's quite a lot of stitching involved, but it's going to be fun. I can't wait to get onto him. But as you can see, the colours look beautiful. Now this was from the kit that was kindly sent to me by Sally from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It was sent with white 36, no, what would it be, 18 count Ada, but as soon as I saw it, I did decide to switch out for this sparkly 32 count linen. But the kit does come with white linen or even weave, but it's such a pretty design. And if you're stitching along, and again, I know that Nikki of Nikki Noodles is stitching along with this particular design, it is really good fun, and it's not too late to join in. Remember what I said last episode, you don't have to keep up, don't let that pressurize you. If you like the design and you want to stitch along, stitch at your own pace, it's absolutely fine. But I am loving that. I don't know what I've done with my needle minder. Let's get that out so I can show you, because that really is so pretty. I think everything is, I've dropped him on the floor. Let me just show you my flosses. I put these onto Christmas tags, which was a really inexpensive way of getting some nice fancy floss tags for my, these are all DMC threads that came with the kit, and I'm just going to pop down there and get the Nutcracker if I can reach it. And that's how good the magnet is. My needle is still on the little Nutcracker, so you can see he is fabulous. And those are my WIPS for this episode. So I'm going to carry on with my Nutcracker, obviously, because I need to get him done. And when I'm back to work next week, I shall carry on with Hello Sunshine while I'm having lunch. But the rest of my WIPS will, sorry, I've got all my hair stuck to my lip gloss. The rest of my WIPS will be switched out for some Halloween stitching. I still need to start Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee and Autumn Alphabet. So I need to get cracking on those. I don't think I'll have them finished in time for Halloween, but it'd be nice to stitch them while we're in that season. Right, just check where we are up to. I think we'll have some giveaways next. Okay, so the first thing is a little public service announcement. The winner of the lilac fabric from 2 videos ago was Karen Ross. I've got the fabrics already in this mailing bag ready to go, but Karen Ross hasn't been in touch. So if you remember, it was this lovely 28 count even weave from Coffee Craft Fabric. So Karen Ross, please get in touch so that I can send you your prize. If I don't hear from you by the next video, I will redraw another winner from the comments from when this was drawn, if that makes sense. So if you entered it originally for this, I will draw it again from those comments. But Karen Ross, do get in touch because your lovely fabric is here and it needs to be with you. Okay, once again, I have been spoiled and you are going to be spoiled by Kimberly and team at Fat Quarter Shop. They've sent some fabulous things. I'm just going to reach across and get them now so that I can share them with you. And the first thing I would like to share, because I've written these down in the orders of the giveaways. So the first thing are these gorgeous, I'm sorry that the sun is shining through. Well, I'm not sorry that the sun's shining through, but it's kind of distracting. These gorgeous, gorgeous floss flowers. And these are thread bobbins, essentially. They're made by Fat Quarter Shop for Laurie Holt of Bee in My Bonnet. I think they did produce these before, but I think they've been resurrected and they've brought them back again. You get how many in this pack? I think there are 20 in this pack. No, there are 12 in this pack, and you can see they have the hole at the top, and you can put them through a floss ring and you can wind your thread around. I'm just trying to see, I think they're just like a Ziploc pack, so I can take one out and show you. So if I show you, so this is what they look like. They're made of sort of like an acrylic, so they're long lasting, and they say on the back. And I've had a bit of an idea, because I've got a pack of these myself, and from my paper crafting and scrapbooking days, I've got a thing called a crocodile, and I'm sure lots of you will be familiar with that. It's essentially a really sturdy, strong hole punch that will go through most things. So I'm going to test it out on one of these, and my plan is to put a smaller hole here at the top to go through a floss ring, and then use this hole to actually put my my floss through, and then use it as a floss drop. So that's a little idea that I've got, but they're intended for you to wrap your floss all the way around and keep your floss nice and tidy and organised. So if you would like to win this pack of floss flowers, and I won't be punching holes in yours, please use the word flowers in your comment below. I'll give you the rules of the giveaways. They're very simple. Please be a subscriber of my channel. Please like the video. You need to be over 18 to enter, as I will need to ask you for your mailing address so that I can send your prize to you. And you need to use the word that goes with the prize that you want. You can enter for all the prizes, but you will only win one prize. And the giveaway is available to anywhere in the world. Thanks to our wonderful coffee donations, I'm happy to post these anywhere for you. Let's show you the next one. The next giveaway is the wonderful Hello Summer cross stitch pattern with all those lovely ice creams and ice lollies. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think over in the States you call those popsicles. We call them ice lollies, and they look fabulous, especially on that dark fabric. This was part of Stitch Quarterly, but it's now available for sale, and of course you could win this copy. It's charted for DMC, and it uses 6 skeins or 6 colours of DMC, which are listed on the back, so really easy to get hold of. And the model was stitched on a navy 14 count Ada by Witchelt. It would look good on black, it would look good as it is on the navy, it would look good on almost any colour. If you stitched it on white, you'd probably want to change the hello, but it's a really fun design, and it's 95 by 68 stitches, so not a huge stitch, really fun. If you'd like to be entered, I'm sorry, can you see me all right? The sun's, I told you the weather's gone crazy. If you'd like to be entered for this particular pattern, please use the word summer. Next on the list of wonderful giveaways is this beautiful whirlwind quilt pattern from It's So Emma. And this is, the pattern gives you crib, lap, twin and queen sizes, and of course it uses these beautiful bright colours. They do give you all the fabrics that they used on the back and the SKU numbers, but of course you can use any fabric you want. If you wanted to tone it down, it's a really fun pattern, and I think it would lend itself to so many different fabric designs. So this is a quilt pattern, and if you want to be in with a chance of winning this, please use the word wind in your comment, and it's really windy out there today. The final giveaway for today, and this is a stunner. This is the So Happy cross stitch pattern by Laurie Holt of Be In My Bonnet, and it's an It's So Emma publication. And this one has got all the Laurie Holt feels, all the happy colours, the sewing machine, the gingham, everything. It's just such a pretty design. This one is charted for DMC again, so really easy to get hold of. There are quite a few colours in this one. Let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15 colours in this one. They're all listed on the back, and the model was stitched using 25 count Lugana, and it was stitched 2 threads over 2. So again, this is a nice relaxing stitch, nothing too small or hard on the eyes. You could do lots of outlining and just stitch away to your heart's content. The overall size of this one is 185 by 71 stitches, and on the given fabric, the 25 count Lugana, it's 14, just under 15 inches by 5.75 inches. So a really nice fun design, and that would look fabulous in a sewing room. I'm sorry about this light, it's gone absolutely crazy here. I didn't give you the word, did I, for this one? If you want to be entered for this So Happy design, please use the word sew, S-E-W. So 4 giveaways for you this time. Fat Quarter Shop also sent me a copy of the Laurie Holt Flea Market quilt book, which has been released recently. And I'm looking forward to planning and plotting a quilt with this one. I do have a Fat Quarter bundle of Flea Market that I bought last year that's been sitting looking gorgeous on the shelf in my sewing room, and when this arrived I thought, if this is not a sign that I need to use some of that fabric, then I don't know what is. But it gives you lots of options. I'll show you some of the photographs if you can see them in this light. These basket pillows are particularly gorgeous. Really pretty. Of course there is the main quilt on the front there. I'll just see if there's an image of that in here that I can show you. And of course all of Laurie's designs are just, and all of her books are just eye candy, aren't they? So that's the full design of the quilt. So pretty. I love the border on that as well. So thank you Fat Quarter Shop for your generosity in sending those goodies. Good luck to everyone that enters into the giveaways, and I will announce the winner of each one on my next video. I have a little bit of haul to share with you all now. Not much, just a few essentials. So let me just bring them along. Now, as we mentioned, or as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I have now got my unicorn chart, which is something wicked by La-di-da, thanks to Laurie. So I was online on Peakside Needleworks trying to find the perfect fabric. Now this may have been a combination of me looking on my phone to do it, the fact that it was night time, and the fact that colours don't replicate very well sometimes on screen versus real life. So I ordered the fabric that I thought would be perfect, and it is gorgeous fabric. I will share it with you now. It is from Seraphim and it's 32 count in the colour Meadow Grass. So this is the fabric, and you can't see it because the sun is shining through. But let me pop it on my board and hopefully you can see it. It's coming across brown. That's more accurate. It's very, very green. It's very mossy. It's got lovely mottling on it. It's beautiful fabric, but it is definitely not the fabric for something wicked. If I can just reach without knocking all my other things onto the floor, I'll just get the flosses out and you will see that those greens are just going to get completely lost on that fabric. It's beautiful, but it's not right for that. So it will go into my stash, and I'm sure I can find something to stitch on that at some point in the future. But it was a shame because I thought once it came I would be all good to go, but it wasn't to be. So I'm on the hunt for some more fabric. I might even get some, I was trying to get some murky, but that was out of stock. So I will have to have another rethink and see if I can get something, or even have a go at over dyeing something that I've got in stash that might work, because I really need to get started on that. Also for Halloween finishes for my Spell of the Moon, I picked up some Lady Dot Creates chenille trim in licorice, and we'll just get that out a little bit so you can see it. So beautiful, really lovely, and I think that will look perfect on my Spell of the Moon finish when I get round to doing that, which hopefully will be this week. And I needed to make up the postage amount, obviously, because who wants to pay postage when you can just add another couple of things to your basket, am I right? So I saw this chart from Heartstring Samplery. It's the Honeybee pin drum. I'm going to take it out of the pack so that you can see it clearly. I've really got a strong urge to make a drum, and I thought this would be, because it's not too stitch heavy, I thought it might be a good way to get started on a drum. But as you can see, it's a beautiful queen bee with her crown and the bee and all this sort of honeycomb effect, and it's even got a pattern for the top and the bottom. So I thought that would be really, really pretty. And I just picked up a couple of flosses that were included in that. So these are Weeks Dye Works Red Pear and Cattail, and again they are not showing up very well in this ever-changing light. So that was a small haul, but exciting and disappointing, because yeah, I really wanted that fabric to work, but as I said, it won't go to waste. It will sit quite happily in stash until I find the perfect pattern for it. So that is all the cross stitching for this episode. I do have a quilty plan for this week while I'm at home, and that is, and I need to try and reach across because everything is as far away from me as it can be, so do excuse me. I shared this last year. I bought this fabric last year for the Peppermint Forest quilt pattern. Now this image just shows you the runner, the table runner version. I'll pop a picture in here of the quilt. It's by Jedi Craft Girl, which is Amanda Niederhauser. I think that's how you pronounce it. I probably completely mispronounced that. But it's she's on Instagram as Jedi Craft Girl, and the pattern is actually free, completely free. So you go to, there's a link from her Instagram to her blog, and then from her blog it takes you to a link where you can download this as a free pattern. There's a diagram here that might make sense of how the quilt is going to look, if I can show you that. Let me just fold this over so that I'm not, although it's a free pattern, so that's how the quilt will look. And I've got lots of fabrics here that I bought, as I said, last year. I even got as far as with the fat quarters of pressing them all. I've got some lovely fabrics here. I've got this grunge. This might be a shabby actually by Laurie Holt. Let me just show you a few of these. So I've got some green. I've got some, I don't know how I'm going to do this without making a terrible mess. Let's have a little go. So then I've got a polka dot red, a shabby red. Yeah, these are Laurie Holt, the shabby ones. I've got a slightly sparkly red that's probably not showing very well in here. Let me show you some of the pink ones because they're really pretty to make the peppermint candies. And these are by Laurie. So there's this one with the holly leaves, this one with the candy canes, and if I can get to it, this is really difficult to do. There's another one here, which is just a little sort of sprig pattern. And then for the bulk of it, I've got in here, you can see I've had this all ready to go for about a year and then just wasn't in the mood for doing a Christmas quilt. So then I've got some of the greens for the Christmas trees, and I think the greys for the tree trunks, and the white for the backgrounds. Now this quilt uses quite a lot of half square triangles, and although I've made a few quilts, I've never done a half square triangle, and I'm a little bit scared, if I'm honest. I did buy this block clock ruler at a quilt show a while ago, and I had a little trial with it, and it's not bad. It's not bad at all, but I thought, why not do what Kimberly does? I love watching Kimberly on Fat Quarter Shop's quilting channel when she does her demos, and she always uses the triangles on a roll papers for doing half square triangles. These are an It's Sewing product. I bought these from So Hot UK, and this is the size needed. I think the half square triangles in that pattern are a 3-inch finished size, so this makes, yeah, 3-inch finished half square triangles. So I'm going to have a go at using this for my half square triangles, because if you I'm going to watch one of Kimberly's videos just to refresh myself. But these, I think, if you follow the lines, you can just stitch along the lines. It tells you exactly what to do, and you get perfect half square triangles every time. So we shall see. So that's my plan for the rest of the week. I hope you've got lots of plans too. I'm going to leave it there for today because I need to get on with some other things. I've got pillows to stuff and quilts to cut out and stitching to do and all the things. So thank you again for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will look forward to seeing you all in a couple of weeks' time. So take care. Bye.